Caleb Smith, and my profession is that I am a professor at Harrisburg University. So the place I live is Harrisburg, and I do love the city, for good or for bad or whatever stuff happens in it. I think it's kind of an underdog city. It's unique, beautiful riverfront. You can be out in nature in 10 minutes at Boyd's Big Tree or Wildwood or any kind of state park. So it's an amazing area. I like the size of it. I feel like it's very manageable. It's very affordable. There's amazing things happening with the market and Millworks, and Midtown Cinema's been going strong really a lot recently. The breweries, even like Zero Day and Millworks, there's a lot of culture bubbling up in the past 5 years. I think is really important, and I think that is inspiring because my two passions are music and film, and sometimes how they mix together. I don't know if I decided to become a filmmaker. I think I enjoyed capturing images, first still pictures. Like when I was younger, I would take still pictures. And I got really into skateboarding. And part of skateboarding culture were these amazing skate videos where you would see all these people doing tricks. And it wasn't until college that I realized I could try to make personal films. I'd have to say the biggest influence was Gary Adelstein, and that was my first film professor, and he became kind of my mentor and inspired so many other things that wouldn't have happened later, even now in my life. But he was the one that during class would show films by filmmakers that were part of art books and part of art collectives and cinematechs in Paris and New York and San Francisco that I wouldn't have seen elsewhere, and that really opened my eyes. So I think Gary was actually the influence that allowed me to see that film could be an art form. He was the first one that I saw that would use single frame rephotography techniques. Like he would take an image, a still image, or sometimes a few frames of a film, and he would rephotograph them and then manipulate them and create something bigger out of them. And I feel like I do that a lot. I like to take like little moments and kind of expand them and extract them into something as their own. I don't really do traditional narratives. I'm not like I do write stories. I write screenplays, but when I sit down to edit or go out to shoot, it's usually music video or abstract driven. So when I think about making my films different, I think there's reoccurring techniques. And usually it's texture. I feel like texture is really important. I have two cameras that I really like the imagery from. I have a little Blackmagic Pocket Cinema, which looks beautiful, and I have a Canon 5D. But sometimes that's so crisp and so clear that when I'm working with it, it just looks, it looks beautiful and it's like clarity, but to me it feels a little too sharp or too clean. So that's why I like to bring texture into that. And I've always liked texture. Like even when I got to college shooting, the first thing we shot on was Super 8. And then we shot a little 16, and then we took found 16 and manipulated that. And there's always a texture in there. We painted on film. So I think that opening of my mind towards what is cinema, I realized I like texture in cinema, I like texture in film. Shoot more nature stuff, I shoot more water, and I shoot more light. And I think that's just a connection to me enjoying nature. For me, it's the hardest thing to do is actually shoot footage of people, because I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm intruding, and so I feel like it's hard for me to put a camera in somebody's face. It's easier for me to go to the river and shoot a reflection off of, from the sun, reflection off the water. So maybe the recurrent themes are more environment. When I shoot my own personal stuff, it is a lot about focus and composition, but it's a little more freeing. Like I might just see something and quickly set it up and shoot 30 seconds of something just to be able to use it for something later. I guess the most recent thing that I think about for a project for visuals, and it's for a friend named Kjartan Holm, who's a musician in Iceland, and when he plays live to the visuals. So, or technically the visuals accompany his music. And so with that, it's a 49-minute piece, and that's the longest thing I've ever worked on. And it's very intense, and sometimes it's complete abstraction, glitches, flickering, and then sometimes there's some serene moments of ocean and river and more elements of nature. I can't remember the last time I sat around and said, I'm bored, what should I do? Because at that moment you can easily read a book, watch a film, listen to a record, or you could easily pick up a camera and shoot some stuff, or, oh, I should edit that project. There's always something that like can be creatively fun to do, or something aesthetically pleasing to watch or listen to, that boredom doesn't I don't think boredom is in my life at all.